Welcome to Fit Vessels Total Wellness. I'm Ruth Bell, and I am your lead coach for today. I'm going to be sharing about how to regulate your emotions in 10 simple steps. In the meantime, I also have a new body oil, and I'm going to be using my body oil today to help to regulate my emotions. Oftentimes, there are two words that we mix together. One is emotion and one is feelings. And the reason we mix them together is because a lot of time our emotions and our feelings, I think that's mixed, our emotions and our feelings have the same words, like anger or sadness or happy. So we think of emotions and feelings as the same, but they're slightly different. And so let me explain the difference. Your emotions are the chemical reaction that your body has. If you think of the term fight or flight, many of us have heard that term. It's a term that's being used a lot these days. But fight or flight refers to our bodies getting ready to take action. We're either going to fight whatever is happening or we're going to leave very fast. In order for that to happen, the thing that we get is we get an adrenaline rush, or we get a cortisol surge. So adrenaline and cortisol, those are two chemicals that our bodies produce. There are several other chemicals that our bodies produce. So when you think of having an emotion, think of a chemical reaction in your body. Either your palms get sweaty, your mouth gets dry, your stomach starts to go in knots, your heart starts to beat fast, you start to your breathing gets fast. All of those physical sensations, those are emotions. And emotions are automatic. They are in us. They come from our amygdala. That's a part of the brain that's in the back of our brain. And it's kind of just like an automatic thing. It's a release of chemicals in the body. Those produce feelings. Your feelings, even though they have the same name as your emotions, your feelings are the story that we tell ourselves to understand the circumstance. So that now develops our feelings. If we keep telling a certain story about the chemical reaction that our body just had, and we keep repeating that story and repeating that story and repeating that story, now that sets our mood. Our emotions are something that lasts for just a few seconds, like 90 seconds, the chemical will be released and it will flow through our body. If we do not tell a story about it, that turns into feelings that we maintain. So when we start to tell a story about our feelings, we keep releasing the chemical. Emotions are our body's way of understanding and interacting with the world. So they communicate our needs, they drive us to action, and they connect us with ourselves and with others. Emotional intelligence is not just the ability to understand and manage my own emotions, but it's also the ability that we have to recognize and influence the emotions of those around us. It's not to control the emotions of other people because their emotions are theirs. It's not for us to tell a person don't get mad, don't get sad, don't be angry, don't feel what you feel. That's not our place. But we can choose how we behave. If we behave in love, in kindness, in forgiveness, in empathy, in compassion, when we operate in those things, it can influence those around us because emotions are contagious. Our coping mechanisms are ways that we process our emotions. And there are two types of coping mechanisms, healthy ones and unhealthy ones. I'm going to go through the unhealthy coping mechanisms first, how a lot of us process emotions. I used to do that all the time. And sometimes, even now, I still do the unhealthy version. One is we isolate. We get away from our safe community. We get away from community and we go into isolation. In isolation, a lot of the way that we translate the story that we're telling ourselves about the situation, our feelings, may not necessarily go in the positive or right direction. Another unhealthy way that we cope is to start overworking, start to do too much. Start Our minds are going, and while our minds are going, our body and our action starts to follow. So we start to do massive amounts of housework. We start to do several projects all at the same time. We start to take on more at work. We take on more everywhere. We start volunteering. We just do too much. The another unhealthy way that we process emotions is to avoid the emotion, avoid the feeling, act like nothing's wrong. Just say everything's okay when in fact everything is not okay. Procrastination, eating disorders, ruminating, drinking, gambling, all of these things are ways that or sleeping too much. All of these things are ways that we cope or process our emotions in a negative way. Here are some healthy ways to process emotions. So, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Here are the 10 techniques and tips to maintain your mental health and process your emotions. One, relax and reduce your stress. I know that you've heard that before. And we always say, how can I do that? How can I relax and reduce my stress? It can be as simple as notice that you're having the stress, especially if the stimuli for causing your emotions to increase is too much for you. You can pull away, go into solitude, and just relax. Find an activity that you find relaxing, whether it's music or sound or going out in nature. Finding a way to intentionally tell yourself and set your mind to relax. The next thing is to be creative. Coloring books, drawing, dancing, cooking, gardening, all of these things have a creative aspect. So whenever you can let your hands, your mind, your eyes, your body create something from scratch or color something that's already there, journal, writing, anything that's from like the creative arts, even doing hair, doing makeup, um, doing nails, all of these things are creative. And when we get into that creative zone and be creative, because our Father in heaven, he was a creator. He's called the creator, and he made us in his image. So when we start to do things to create, we kind of get into that spirit of creation, and it helps to reduce our stress. Spending time in nature is another way. And spending time in nature does not mean that you have to go rent a log cabin in the mountains and drive 2, 3, 5 hours to get to it. It can be as simple as looking at a plant. It can be as simple as looking outside. If you're stuck inside and you can't get outside, even looking outside, if you can find something that is from nature, like a tree, a plant, a bird, the sky, a mountain range. If you can find something like that and look at it, that's good. If you can get outside, even if you work in the city, I work in the city, but I still have time to go outside and go to the park. When I go outside, I look at leaves, I look at the grass, I look at the plants, I look at pollinators. If I see butterflies or if I see bees, I look at them. I watch them. I watch what they do, and I consider that they are not stressing right now about life. They are just going about their day. That is an easy way to spend time in nature. If you have more time, definitely going on camping trips, being able to hike, being able to go to the beach, being able to go to any part of nature that you can spend time in can help to process your emotions and reduce your stress. Number 4, connect with others. We're not meant to live life alone. We're not meant to live life in isolation. Connect with others. Be around others. Talk to others. Find people that are safe for you and connect with them, whether it's friends, family, a therapist, a coach, your children, your parents, siblings, relatives, even a stranger. If you can connect by giving a compliment to them or telling them to have a nice day, smiling at them, anything that we can do to connect our human nature with another's human nature is a way that you can reset your mental health. Number 5, be physically active. Physical activity does not have to be hard. Physical activity can be as easy as taking a walk, and it doesn't have to be long. You can do small physical activity breaks, almost like physical activity snacks. Think of it as just a 1 minute of marching in place, 1 minute of high knees, 1 minute of modified jumping jacks, 5 minutes of dancing to your favorite song, anything to move your body that raises your heart rate, increases your breathing. That's called your rate of respiration. Anything that makes your heart beat a little bit faster, make you breathe a little bit harder. Anything that does any physical activity motion that does that, even if it's cleaning. So cleaning with the intention, not because you're spiraling, but cleaning with the intention that I am going to reset my space. I am going to take a 15-minute break and clean this area of my house, and you're di- directed by a positive mental health break. That can be your physical activity for the day. Number 6, improve your sleep. Have a good sleep hygiene routine. Lights off. If you have the ability to create a level of darkness in your room, if you're able to sleep in a way, I know some people's jobs don't allow it, but if you're able, or lives don't allow it, but if you're able to go to sleep soon after the sun goes down, your natural circadian rhythms can take over. If you get rid of your cell phone for just a few minutes right before you go to sleep, if you can have a good sleep routine, like, and this is something that I'm working on. My sleep routine is fairly good, but I could make it better. I want to avoid falling asleep and turn falling asleep into going to sleep. And there's a difference. When I fall asleep in my clothes on the couch while watching a show. That's not the ideal. The ideal is it's time to go to bed, and I set my intentions to going to bed, and I do all of my nighttime routine, my nighttime skincare routine. I brush my teeth, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and then I turn things off, turn things down, and I physically get dressed for bed and go to bed. That's a different thing than falling asleep. Doing that more often, it improves your sleep. We get good sleep when we're on vacation because we do that. We're not just falling asleep because of a long day. We intentionally get dressed for bed and go to bed. So think of having vacation at home. Number 7, to practice gratitude. Everything on this list is intentional. An intentional way to practice gratitude looks like this. Every day, find 3 things to be thankful for. Thankful for life, thankful for food, thankful for the things that you have, thankful for the people around you, thankful for the things that you can do. Any of these things are places that you can practice gratitude. Every single day, there is something to be grateful for. Every day, there's something to be grateful for. Every day, there's really negative things that are happening and positive things. They happen simultaneously. Gratitude helps us to shift our focus to the positive things that are happening or to the things that we can be thankful for, even if nothing positive technically is happening. You can be thankful in everything and for everything because you're being thankful to God for being God. Thankful to God for keeping you in the situation. Thankful to God for maintaining you in the situation. But practicing gratitude opens up and unlocks a whole new level of life. And once you start to do it on a regular basis, like on a daily basis, you can watch your life change and shift. I promise you, I guarantee it works. Number 8, a lot of what we've talked about so far is what we do with our bodies and what we do with our minds. Now I'm going to say what we put into our bodies. Eat fruits, eat vegetables. Find fruits and vegetables that are in season. Find fruits and vegetables that are in season that you like. Find fruits and vegetables that are in season that you've never tried before. Blueberries, strawberries, cantaloupe, watermelon, avocado, broccoli, green beans, spinach, kale, bananas, oranges, mangoes, everything. There's nothing that's off limits. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables have phytonutrients in them. I'm going to give you a challenge to find something new and eat it today. Drink water. Stay hydrated. That's number 9. Drink water. Water is excellent. That tells you that you need fluid in your system. Anytime a person gets sick and they go to the hospital, to the emergency room, the first thing that's done is an IV. And the IV is like water and water. Right. The world is made up of 90% water. You and I are about 70% water. Water is important. If we don't have enough water in our bodies, our blood won't flow through our bodies well. Oxygen won't flow through our bodies well. In order for things to flow, hear that word flow, we need water. We need to be hydrated. And sometimes when we get stressed out, having a glass of water rehydrates us instantly in such a way that our brains start to flush out whatever the negative chemicals are. So have water. The last thing, number 10, meditate. Meditate on the Word of God. Meditate on the promises of God. He promised to give you life. He promised to give you life and life more abundantly. He promised to be faithful. He promised to love. You are loved. You are cared for. You are seen. You are heard by God. All of these things He gives you. If you can, find a way to hear the Word, see the Word, speak the Word, and put the Word in your heart. This is a key to maintaining your mental health. If you have distrust or if you are skeptical, read Isaiah 26, verses 3 to 4. Read Proverbs 3, verse 5. If you have shame, read Romans 1, verse 16, and Romans 10, verse 11. If you have panic, read Psalms 27, verse 1, and read Psalms 13, verse 5. If you are anxious, read Philippians 4, verses 6 to 7. If you're overstimulated, read Jeremiah 33, verse 25. Read Psalms 131, verse 2. If you have disgust, read 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. If you have fear, read 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. I hope all of these tips help. Look forward to seeing you next time. This is Ruth from Fit Vessels Total Wellness, helping you maximize your potential.